Well, this afternoon you joined me at one of my own carp lakes, but we're actually having a couple of hours pike fishing, and the idea is really is just to show you how simple pike fishing is and how good it is in winter, especially on limited time. And I speak to a lot of carp anglers throughout the year. I deal with carp anglers for my livelihood, and a lot of them want to pike fish. They talk about pike fishing, but they're a little bit intimidated about where to start, what gear to use, and of course a little bit intimidated by the fish themselves. So hopefully this afternoon I can take you through a couple of simple rigs, and even if we get lucky we'll catch one and we can have a look at that as well. Then the ledgered lamprey, just drop off's just gone. I'm just going to see if it takes a little bit of line, which it is. Check the clutch, and then wind down tight to the bait, and hit it, cross your fingers. Yep. Yeah, it feels all right. The bait had been out there probably about 20 minutes. I was just thinking of moving it. I usually like to move them around, but it's taking me round the reeds. It's not a big one, but it's a start. They're powerful fish, and you need to be quite confident playing them. You need to try and be the boss, but obviously if it wants to go, let it. It's only a jack, but that's a start. Here she comes. You can see the bait, nice bit of lamprey, first one. So yeah, well chuffed to catch one, and we're going to take you through unhooking it quickly. Important to be confident with them, but one thing I do is I quickly unclip the trace so the rod and reel are out of the way. Simple clip. There we go. Right. Oh, it's a fat one. It's a lovely fish in the map. Probably looks like quite a young one, doesn't it? Very good condition. So you want to be confident with pike, and if you know someone that pike fishes, it's an old cliche, but go along with them. If you just get under there, their mouth will open up. Have a look. Just let them go. You can feel them when they want to go. No panic. People get panicky. They rush. If you rush, that's when a mistake's going to happen. Turn her over again. It's a bit like being a dentist, I guess. This one's just on the outside. There we go. Put them there. Should we have a look at her? There we go. Beautiful condition this time of year. They're definitely putting some weight on, feeding up, thick across the back. Yeah, I love pike. Got quite a short mouth, very good condition. And they behave well, but you have got to be confident. Slip her back. So we're going to slip her back, but I'm going to let her recover in the net, make sure she's nice and happy. And easy way to just take her back to the water is in the net, nice deep net, she can't get out. Make sure she's the right way up and fully recovered. You can see how hard they do fight. It's cold, there's lots of oxygen, but you always want to let them go when they're nice and strong. Lovely. And get a rod back out. After a little bit of crazy action, I'm going to put the ledge rod back out, and that first bite was on lamprey. Quite an expensive bait, to be honest, but a good bait. It's tough, it casts well, a bit like a mackerel. And actually the funny thing is, this is the bit of lamprey I caught the pike on, so quite often you get another cast. I think my record is 8 pike on the same bit of lamprey, so easy to hook. I do it this way, straight through the sort of nose. It's a tough bit, that's going to take the weight, and then this one just in the body, just nick it in. A little casting flag if you want to be fancy. One thing I do is I used to actually stand on them, give them a little squeeze, but I just give them a little stab with my knife in the gills just to let that blood out. But yeah, it's a great bait. Sardines are probably another one of my favourites, and very cheap. Find them in the supermarket. With a sardine it's softer, so it pays to make sure they're frozen and actually cast them out frozen. They'll release all their stuff as they defrost in the water. But yeah, real simple. Let's get it out there. Just about to put the ledger rod back away, and the corner of the eye I've just seen my float. This one's on a float, and I was just in the float cock up, and I'm pretty sure this is yeah, that looks like a bite. It's funny with pike fishing, I guess with any fishing, you get those periods of inactivity and you often get 2 or 3 at once. So they just switch on, and I think playing a fish as well can attract more. Right, let's just set the clutch. Wind down tight and strike. Yep. This one's really shaking its head, and on the braid you feel every shake. Kiting. So you don't want to bully pike, but I guess I play them harder than I would a carp. You've got to remember you've got treble hooks on. Oh, this is a nice one. Big old shakes. Throw the net in. Here she comes. She's not happy. Oh, in. And that's a proper one by the looks of it. Nice one, well chuffed. Big old head. As I said to Steve, the trout sorts out the bigger ones. Right, let's just unclip this rig. I'm lucky to land this one. She's very lightly hooked, and the hooks actually came out in the net, which is always nice. So yeah, we're going to quickly weigh her because she is definitely a better one. Yeah, heavy. Definitely looks like a big double. It's good to have these mats nowadays with the sides on, especially when you're on your own. They can't bolt off. Scales are zeroed. So oh, it's windy, but she's 18. Just under 18 pound, just under. That will do. The sun's come out. It was raining all morning, and I think sometimes some of my best days have been when you've got cloud and sun, a bit of a mixture. And I think what that does is the bait fish move up and down, and if the bait fish are moving, these lovely creatures will have more of a feed. So if you're into your carp fishing, you can hold them like a carp. Just one round there. There we go. Lovely big thick back on her, big head. And I say her because all the big pike are females. And she's lovely. She's in good condition. Not a mega old fish, not a young one. And she thrashed around. She nearly slipped the hooks, but luckily we bundled her into the net, and the gear, the strong gear, did the job. A quick look at the tackle that you use for pike fishing. A lot of you obviously have got carp rods and they do the job fine. What you want is quite a stepped up carp rod though. Like a 3 pound test curve would probably be minimum for me, because remember, you're not casting out a lead with a little boilie on. You're often putting out a chunky dead bait, you know, so you need something with a bit of backbone. At the same time, you want something with a nice bend to absorb all those head shakes and lunges. And because I use braid, again, the bend is important because those lunges are very exaggerated. So this rod's beautiful, a 3 1/4, 12 foot, a nice free spool reel, a decent spool on it with good capacity because I've got 50 pound braid on. So you've got strong gear, and I'll take you down the rod, have a look at this float setup. Very simple float rig for dead baiting. A nice low resistance, lightweight, non-weighted pencil float. I've got a bead above it that just runs up, and up there I've got a float stop. It's about 6 or 7 foot out there, so I've set the float stop at 8 foot. So there's a little bit of slack, the float can lay flat and then just cock up and you see the bites. Below the float, a weight, that's like an egg weight. You can change this quick release system, so you can alter the weight. That's fixed into a swivel, and then to that swivel I've just got a quick change clip on, and I like to, you might go through 2 or 3 traces in a day, or change your hook size, or when you catch a fish it's quite nice just to unclip the trace and get the rod out of the way. But very simple, and it casts out really well, won't tangle, and it will show a bite. There's nothing like watching a float just cock up and cock down and slide away. I'm going to quickly show you how to hook up a dead bait. I always bring a range of baits with me. Each day can be different to what the pike prefer, but it's hard to beat a nice mackerel. And I quite like the Joey mackerels. I used to use big old tail sections trying to catch those big pike from the gravel pits. But to be honest, I think like doing a lot of jigging and lure fishing, big pike will take small baits, and big baits aren't mega selective. With a Joey mackerel, I like to just cut the head off just at the gills. That's doing 2 things. That's going to release a lot of blood quick into the water, and also it makes it more aerodynamic, so it's just going to cast. Even if I'm not casting it far, it's going to cast nice and straight. I'm also going to cut the tail off just like that, because that can twist in the water, so I've got more of a streamlined shape bait. Top hook in the tail just through. They've got quite a nice strong muscle, a mackerel, and that hook there is actually taking all of the weight. This one I like to just put into the side, like I say, really simple, but a nice bait to cast out. It's going to give off loads of oil and blood. And yeah, let's flick it out there, see if we can get a bite. Another bite, lovely bite on the float. I think this is on the mackerel we just put out. So I'm going to wind down and hit it. Yep. We're in again. Yeah, this one's really shaking again. Nice and steady, just like any fish, but don't take it too easy on them. You want to stay in contact all the time. That's why braid's brilliant. Ooh, it's another good one. Definitely angry. In she goes. That's another good pike, turning out to be a good afternoon. That's 20 pounds. There you go. It's got to be in it. Don't know. Let's have a look where she's hooked. Just hooked. When you feel them, just tense up. Just let them go. Turn around again. And these rubber meshes are brilliant. You're not all going to get twisted up with your hooks like we used to. Let her go. Say she's hooked lightly, but that wasn't coming out. These hooks are really sharp and strong. There we go. I'll get rid of the net. It's a cracking fish. And this one is just over or just under. Shall we say 19, 15 or 20 pounds? I think we'd I'll be given 20. It doesn't matter, it's a lovely fish. Have a quick look at her. Lovely and deep. Big head. Yeah, 20-pound pike is probably one of the most impressive sort of fish there is every year. If I'm lucky to catch one or two, yeah, you can't help but to admire them. She's calmed down a bit. Have a quick look at her. Yeah. Beautiful fish, really nice and thick across the head and shoulders. Nice tummy on her, good condition. And yeah, she loved a little joey mackerel. You don't need the big baits for these big fish. Nice simple float rig, and yeah, job done. So I've just cast out the dead bait rod. This is on a ledger, and I'm going to show you how easy it is just to set up. Got my alarm at the front, just put the free spool on just to pay out some line. And at the back you can see we've got a drop off. Switch that off. I'm going to tighten up. I've got 50-pound braid on. I wouldn't use anything else nowadays for my pike fishing. Braid is strong, it's sensitive, it behaves well. So what you don't want when you're pike fishing is resistance. So when you're carp fishing, of course, you can put your free spool on and the carp bolts off. With pike, they can feel that, and they will often drop that bait, and that's it, and you don't get another chance. So we fish with an open bail arm with a drop-off indicator. That just wants to be under the reel. It just clips in. Like so. And when that pike goes forward, obviously if it goes backwards you will get a drop back. If it goes forward, that clip there, that will just release the line and it will just peel off. You've got a running rig on, the pike doesn't know any difference. And the other thing, a key thing is to point the rod where you've cast the bait. If you're down the side, of course the pike might feel the rod tip pull round and they can release it. But yeah, really simple, strong and safe. A simple running rig for pike, for dead bait fishing. A ledger stem, it's got buoyant on top. That keeps your braid or line off the bottom if there's leaves or bit of weed. You want it free running. A heavy lead's important. People make the mistake using little lead. You want that lead to stay in place as that pike moves off, so there's no resistance at all. Down to a buffer bead, and then we've got a quick change clip, trace on. Really simple, and casts out like a bullet. Like with carp fishing, ready tied rigs have come on a long way, and it's the same with pike fishing. So nowadays you haven't got to worry if you're new to it or not confident tying with wire. You can get a nice trace straight out of the packet, quality hooks, quality wire, and just clip it straight on. And you're fishing, no messing around, everyone's limited on time. If you're more experienced, you probably tie your traces like I would usually, but to be honest, I'm really impressed with these. And if you're definitely new to it, then, you know, just grab these. The more you can get into it, the more you can start playing around with tools and wire and hooks. But these do the job. Unhooking mat essential for pike. Very delicate creatures. Don't, because they're ferocious, don't for 1 minute think they aren't delicate. The bigger they are, the more delicate. So a purposely designed mat. This is obviously for predator fishing, but you want a captive style mat, I think, so they cannot shoot off the bank. Once they're in here, nice and safe, and you can take your time unhooking them. Tools essential. Carp gear, your tools aren't going to do it. You want some long style forceps so you can get right into that mouth and get those hooks out, dig them out really easily. So nice strong ones, not cheap ones that are going to bend out. Some nice strong forceps, and cutters are essential. Don't use them a lot, but sometimes the wire will just be in a funny place, might get stuck in your net, God forbid in your hand. So always have some tools to cut that wire, and no issues at all then. Just going to let this one recover, but it's been a great afternoon. We've had some lovely fish, and I hope what I've shown you has, you know, displayed how simple it is, and you can incorporate some of it into your own pike fishing, or if you're new to it, it gives you the confidence to go out there and have a go. They really are incredible predators. Let's slip this big girl back. Magic.